So we're streaming. We're streaming. What are we streaming, you may ask? We're streaming some TetraForce. What are we doing for TetraForce today, you may ask? We are working more on the scripting system. How did I get 1 like with 0 viewers? Thank you for your dedication, no one. Oh, no. Yeah, there's people. Okay. So yeah, this is, I was working on this yesterday too. It's a scripting system. It's not in the actual game yet. Right now we're just trying to work out the actual stuff that we need. Right now, it'll read this big old script right here, and if we hit parse, it'll parse all that. We go to object view. Here's all the stuff it pulled from there. It got the properties were at the top. It's these, and that's like the health, the speed, the damage, the size, the sprite sheet. The states is maybe what we're going to work on today. It's the next major thing we need. The states is going to be the actual stuff it does every frame. So we're going to have to make something that could just read these states and process them. Oh, hey Andrew. Don't have volume, but I'm in chat. Oh, you don't hear me speaking right now then. What is the custom scripting system's main purpose? Well, right now, TetraForce is currently, all of the game files are found within the actual game, you know, as most games, that is where most games would have their files, yes. But we want this game, there's two main purposes. I guess the main purpose is I want to do it and it would be cool. Okay, there's 3 main purposes. Purpose number 2 is it will allow us to make enemy scripts a lot easier. Not only is it just nice because this is a simpler thing to read, so read and write, so people would be able to, you know, make their own enemies themselves. It also means that I don't have to be the one to go in, take the enemy ideas, implement it in game, and figure out all the online multiplayer stuff for it too. The idea is it'll read these scripts and everything will be generalized enough that all the networking and stuff will work automatically. Purpose number 3 is we want the game's files to be read outside of the game. That way, like, TetraForce itself would just be like an engine. There wouldn't be any sound maps, no entities, just the logic on how to create an entity. No like effects, none of that. Instead, all of those things will be imported into the game using the scripting system, and that will allow for other people to make their own content, like mods and stuff. It'll allow us to make things really easily. It'll allow us to reuse this engine really easily. If we wanted, like, we're working on TetraForce, like, our idea for TetraForce is a pretty solidified thing, and that's going to be our main efforts. But if we wanted to make, like, a little game that uses, that's also Zelda-y, so it'll look similar to TetraForce. If we wanted to do another one, maybe like a smaller one, then we would already have everything in place, and we would just script different things. The main purpose, though, is so that I don't have to make everything anymore. I would rather spend a month making this scripting system than a week making another enemy. It might be a waste of time, we'll see. But we're already pretty far along. We started this yesterday, so we already have, like, the first thing we did was yesterday in the very, very early mornings, I set up this. This is just a sample script, and I did the colors and stuff just so it's a more visible. So I did this very, 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 very early in the morning. And then during the day, we implemented the parser, so now it can read this whole file and convert it into dictionaries. You may be asking, because everyone has asked, You may be asking, why not just use JSON or something else, or Godot's config files? Because I think this is prettier, and it only took an afternoon to get it to work, so now that's in. Do you intend to increase the size of the sprite on that screen for us viewers? Not that it'll make a difference for you guys, but it'll be nice seeing the animations in a larger size. Yeah, it's also really hard for me to see it too. Yeah, sure. Let's do that. I didn't want to do it like I didn't want to just like scale it up. I want it to, because changing the scale will mess with the speeds when we're making the states. But let's just make a little. Let's do this. Let's make a little place. Let's just here. I don't know if this will work the way I think it will, but let's try something. 1 second. This camera is going to be the size of a regular screen, I think. Or I don't know actually. The sprite's going to use a viewport texture, and we're going to add the child to that. What do you want? Viewport size must be greater than 0 to render anything. Hey Giphy, so the script system used for making mods? It'll be used for making mods, and it'll also just be used to make the game. Like, I want to make it, first and foremost, something that we could use to make enemies and everything easier. Items are going to use the scripting system, but I'm just testing all this stuff with enemies first before I convert everything over. Yeah, it will allow for mods, and mods could also just be pack files for Godot. Like if you could make mods in the game or in Godot and then have it be loaded with whatever custom logic you want to. That's just, it's an open source game, so anything's possible. But the scripting system is just supposed to make things easier. And it's fun to work on. It's just cool. Yo, you have a size. You have one now. What do you want from me? Okay, there's that. Okay, not exactly where where I'd like it to be. I see. How do I make it, I don't know how viewports work, to be honest. But I guess that's 0, 0. I think it's also flipped by default for whatever reason. Is that true? Oh, it's still over there. Why is it still over there? Yeah, it is flipped. Not sure why they do that by default. Maybe someone knows. But there you go. It's bigger now. Marcelo. Oh, very slightly. I guess I could make it bigger than that. That is not bigger. That is much smaller. That's what I meant. There we go. How's that? So yeah, what's happening right now? When we hit parse, the first thing that happens when we parse is it'll convert this script into this dictionary. Then it'll take, in this animations key, it'll take all the animations that were generated from the script, that were in the script, and turns them into an array. I don't know why it doubles these arrays. Maybe I should look into the stream, but I don't really care. It already works. But yeah, basically like the walk animation, what it does is these are the 2 frames of the walk animation. It'll say, okay, do frame 2 for 0.25 seconds, and then do frame 3 for 0.25 seconds. And also loop. So then we hit walk, and it's doing frame 2 for 0.25, frame 3 for 0.25, and it's looping. So that's how the animations work. And it's generating animation players. Like every change that we make, when I hit save, it'll save this as a little thingy. So we could just look at how this looks. Animate, that's the animation that was generated. Walk, this is the animation that was generated. It also has loop enabled. It's kind of neat. It's working. Here's the initialize animations thing, if you want to use this. And yeah. One thing we're not doing though is, if we were to look at the scene that was generated, it is not making a collision shape yet. So that is one of the properties we have in the script. So all we got to do is make a function that'll read these 2 things from the size property. And yeah, so let's do that. Width, height, and we're going to do collision equals collision shape 2D new collision.name equals, well, let's just do that. You know, and let's also do this. Why not? Let's no. We don't need to change our naming conventions. Collision.name equals, yeah, let's just type full collision. I don't care. Who cares? Add child collision. Collision.owner equals self. Oh, sorry. Shape equals capsule shape new. Shape dot, yeah, radius equals W. Shape dot height equals H. And collision dot set or collision dot shape equals shape. Let's also do this. Why not? Okay, hopefully that worked. So we parsed. Let's go check the scene. No, it didn't create. Let's close the scene first and then hit parse. Huh. Oh, we need to run the function. That'll help. Let's go to the parser. Ooh, cool. Oh yeah. Let's do floats. Okay, let's open it. All right, now it has a collision. Is it the right size? Yeah, it's good enough for me. Yeah. So that's kind of, oops, what did I just press? Okay. I accidentally just mashed on my keyboard. But yeah, basically how this scripting system works Well, we haven't gotten to the interesting part, and I'm hoping we could figure out at least part of the interesting part today, or maybe finish the interesting part, depending on how hard it is. The interesting part will be the states. So we have all of these are getting used. Like if we look in here, you know, it has. Well, I guess you can't really see them, so never mind. But if we were to be able to see, it does have the health and speed and damage set. I gotta go to bed, but you're genius, and this is awesome. Carry on, good sir. Thanks. Good night. If we hit this, then we can see speed, damage, health. It's all getting set. Even the states are getting set. See? We can look at all the states that we have. We can open those. We can see the actions in each state. Or not. Maybe it won't let us do that. Okay. Bummer. But I'm sure they're there. If we go to object view, we can only assume that these have things in there. I don't know why this has that in there. Oh, I do know why, because those are actually, yeah, okay, yeah. That's just formatting. So yeah. It is working, and now it creates the collision. If we did visible collisions, I guess we should do. Yeah, they got a collision shape. It's there. It's nice. Seems pretty sexy. Thanks, bro. Just wondering, are you intending to load these every time, or are you going to cache the scene files? Maybe check the MD5 hash, see if a file is updated before creating a cache. Second part's a good idea. Yeah, we are going to cache them. I don't have like a fancy way of caching them, but we are technically caching them right now. Like if I were to delete this, or like not actually, but if I were to delete that scene in here and then hit parse, it gets created. So we're just going to have to cache that elsewhere. And then yeah, we could probably hash them and check if there's, well, we'll see. We'll see how the updating each one will work. I also think, well, every single thing in the game is gonna have to get parsed, because at a certain, like, the goal is every single object in the game will be made with TetraScript. The actual inner workings of TetraScript will be GDScript, obviously, but all the well, we're just going to define all the things in GDScript and then do it from here. So when you gotta parse through all those files, I'm hoping that it'll be fast. Like, you know, if we press this button, he shows up instantly. So yeah, if we have like hundreds of different objects between like enemies, items, even like animated tiles or like chests will have to be items. Then we'll have to see if caching is necessary, but or not caching. We're gonna cache, but if like only updating certain ones are necessary. But I think chances are when you load the game and you hit go and it parses all the things, I feel like it's gonna do it fast enough that it's not gonna matter too much. So is TetraScript for efficiency or more to flex your CS skills? It's for efficiency in our workflow. I don't know, it's not more efficient on the engine by any means. It's just, it's mostly for fun, but this whole game is for fun. Is the behavior AI also scripted in TetraScript? To an extent. So, like, if we go here, all the states, like, the wider behaviors, yeah, like, when we spawn, what we're going to do is play this thing, then we have this trigger and state system. Basically, triggers are just pretty much the if statements, and all the else's just move you to another state. So in this case, we play when the thing spawns, we play the inanimate animation, which is just it's dead. Then when a body gets within 96 units and that body is a player, we go into state animates. So in animate, in animate, pretty much the same thing. We play the animate animation, and then we have another trigger in animate that will check when the animation is finished. And these things right here are going to be like GDScript programmed things, as are these. But yeah, once that's finished, go to state active. Now here's the actual behavior. We're going to walk. We're going to use AI wander, which is just he's going to pick a random direction every once in a while and move around. And then we're also going to have other triggers like timer after 2 seconds, begin throw, and then that does stuff, blah, blah, blah. You get the point. I'm pretty confident it would be relatively fast, just a matter of how many files are read. Like RimWorld can take 15 minutes if you have hundreds of mods. Granted, that might not be your intent. And of course, you could do the parser in C# or GD native if you needed more speed anyway. Yep, totally agreed. And even if we wanted to, we could rebuild each of the, like the actual entity code to be in C++ down the line, or C#. And if that saves the frames, then why not? And the parser is all it's going to do is we'd have to recreate each of this logic in C++. And if that speeds it up, great. I don't think it'll speed it up that much. I think GDScript is a fast enough language. Like, no, it's not as fast, but it's still all we need. Will that have any impact when it comes to networking regarding state management and serialization in general? So in networking, our TetraForce uses a very, very lazy form of multiplayer, mostly because this isn't a game that you play like with. It's not an MMO, and we don't really care who you play with, but it's intended to be played with like people you know. So our networking is very, very lazy, and basically the first person who walks into a room is the host of that room, and then all the other things are just sent as updates to everyone else. So if the Stalfos will be moving on one player's screen, and then it'll just tell everyone else, hey, it's moving, or its position is this, and we only do it like every tick, and then it interpolates the movement and blah blah blah, whatever. So will this have any impact when it comes to networking regarding state management and serialization? No, it won't, because all of these things are only going to be run on the host of that room. By the way, the host of that room isn't the same as the host of the server. The server doesn't really care what any of the clients are doing. But yeah, it's only going to be run on the host and then just sent to everyone else. There will be a question on, okay, how are we going to do networking? I already have networking super, super, super simplified with how the enemies currently are in TetraForce. So like here's the same script. So this TetraScript thingy right here, here's how it looks in actual GDScript. Now granted, I got really, really lazy and kind of did this in a messy way, but basically the idea is that we'd be able to shorten this whole script into something like this. Granted, this one might actually be a little longer because the animations are also here, but that's also nice because it keeps all the animations in the same page as everything else, instead of having, okay, now I have to go here, check this, blah, 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 whatever. But the way my point was the network. The only networking that the Stalfos actually does here, like, do you see any network code here? There's this, but this isn't in front of everything. So this is just going to be an inherent thing in the entity script. There's, what else is networked? Nothing else here. Oh, you know what? Bad example. I forgot to add that Stalfos isn't currently networked because I changed his behavior. But the point I was going to get to is the only networking that there would be is for the bone throwing. It would be network, peer call, self, use weapon, bone. Okay, so there's already very little networking that we do in each individual enemy script. Like if we go to Smash Room here, there's no networking here besides this. This is the only reference to networking. If we go to the slime, no networking here. So most of the networking for the enemies. If an enemy uses a weapon, then yeah, it will have something like here. But we're just gonna generalize this in TetraScript itself. So like right here, we're gonna have use weapon. We're gonna have it so if an enemy uses a weapon, then it'll always network call anyway. But otherwise, all the other network syncing stuff happens in this network object right here, which is something I made for TetraForce as well. What this does is you add this to any scene that you need, and then all you do is write in the properties. So the things we update every frame are in the update properties, and in this case, the only thing we have to update every frame is the position. And we also update health for enemies. Excuse me. We also update health for enemies, but only when players enter. So these update properties happen every frame, so the host sends updates to every other player in the room every frame. Or every tick, sorry, not every frame. Enter properties are, okay, these are just things that we need to update once when a player enters, in this case the health. Everything uses these network objects. Like if we set something to persistent, what that means is whatever properties are in enter properties, they will stay the same whether every player leaves or not. Because otherwise, stuff like health only gets updated when a player enters and another player has something to send to them. But if every player leaves and comes back, all the enemies will be alive again. But if we have like a mini boss or something, all we'd have to do is set the state to persistent, and then that thing will be dead all the time, which I just think is kind of cool. And this stuff is used for other objects as well, like, where is it? Pushable blocks. Use network object, and what they do, we don't update everything every frame. Instead, we only update the position when a player enters. The actual movement and stuff is hard coded in here, but that is going to be another question for TetraScript, where we want to make all these objects TetraScript stuff. So blocks, instead of blocks having all this code in here, instead we're going to have like a state where it's waiting for a player interaction. It'll have a trigger for when a player pushes up against it, which is some like that. The logic for that is something we're going to have to hard code, but if we do it once, then it'll be available to every other tile. And then, so yeah, if a player pushes up against it, we'd have another state for moving, and we'd have to grab some information like what direction was the player pushing, etc., blah, blah, blah. But yeah, there's a lot of things to do. But where were we? Did we even start anything today? Oh, we added the hitbox. Yeah, here's how I think we're gonna handle states. So we already have, like in the object view, it already sees like its actions and its triggers. The triggers are gonna be harder to work on, especially since this is all just it's gonna be hard to see these things without a player in this game, so maybe we might have to put like a basic player just for this thing to interact with. But the triggers are going to be like complex if statements. But really what it's going to do, really all the triggers are is they're either going to be signals or they're going to be, well, more likely for now they're going to be processed every frame, which is fine for the enemies because the processing will only occur within like when the enemy is active. No, that wouldn't be the case because this one's checking when it's in its inanimate state. It'll be checking if the player is there, so it'd be having to look for the player every frame, which might be costly. Like probably not to actually matter in this game, but you know we want to practice good programming. We're already rewriting the entire enemy code for the game, so we might as well do it right. So the triggers are going to be complicated because we're going to have to find a way to make them signals, but also only care about what those signals do. Only care about what the signals do when that state is active. Now we could like connect and disconnect the signals on a state change, because we also don't want like the signal to get fired when you're in a different state and then it'll change this or that. So yeah, I think what we're gonna do is maybe we're gonna make everything signals. Now that I think about it, maybe every single trigger is gonna be a signal. Like anim finished, easy signal. Body within. I guess what this is gonna do is the body within is going to generate like just if it has this in the script, what it's gonna do is it's going to generate a area 2D with a size of 96, and it'll check for the player, and if the player is in there, then animate. I think we're gonna make the triggers work on signals. I try to use signals for as much as I can, but I think we're gonna like make signals kind of the backbone of this operation. I'm not sure. The easy part is going to be these actions, and honestly, the anim finish signals will be easy. So hopefully, either by the end of today's stream or tomorrow's. I don't know how long this is going to take me because I've been getting stuck on simple stuff the last couple days, to be honest. But hopefully, by the end of today or tomorrow, we'd be able to hit animate, and then it will automatically go into the walk state, because that'll make the, and we could also make the walk state or active state. We could get the AI wander in there, and have some stuff going. So then we could hit walk, and he'll start walking around. We could hit inanimate, and he'll stop. Is this open source? Yes. Well, the game is, but I haven't pushed any of this stuff up yet. But this will be. TetraForce, we're on GitHub right here. I'll paste the link in the chat. It's there now. And we also have a Discord server. It's super active and it's super fun. And join it. Check the description. Like, comment, subscribe. But yeah. Let's try to think of how we're gonna do these states. So we're already grabbing the states here. Let's make like yeah. I don't know how this is gonna work. Honestly, the first state's always going to be spawn. Spawn is pretty much going to be like the ready function. No, or not really, but spawn is just the first state that anything does. And if we want it to do something else, like we could use spawn to set whatever things in TetraScript as we want. It will pretty much be the ready function, and then we could just change the state at the end of spawn so that all that stuff only happens once. Basically, if something just says state active at the end, then the state will just parse through it once, or it'll just process through it once and then change the state. If the state doesn't have an exit point at the end of its definition, then it'll just loop. So all these things will loop until a trigger tells it to change the state. That's how that works. I think that'll be powerful enough for anything. Like, if anyone could think of any edge cases where this isn't powerful enough to make an enemy outside of this system, let me know, just so I could either think of a solution or try to rack my brain and see why it might actually be possible. But I think this should be powerful enough for all of our enemies and also all of our bosses. I know this by itself, like this spec, isn't enough for the bosses right now. We also don't have any bosses made. But the idea is not that this should limit what our bosses do. It's just if there's a boss that's too complicated for it to work, then we're going to have to update TetraScript. I want this to be powerful. I want to make a scripting language. It just sounds fun. And this isn't like, I think this is a pretty aesthetic ass looking language. It's all based off of Doom Decorate. So this isn't like, the syntax isn't brand new. I'd say the major difference is how the states are structured. Doom Decorate had like the animations and states were combined into one thing, but I think this makes more sense for this project. But yeah. What was I talking about? I have not like started. Current state equals spawn. That's what got me on that tangent. Okay. I can see this. I forgot to rechat. I can see this app you're using to test made a little nicer, being a great tool for creating mods and content, like some text boxes, labels, maybe a testing mode. Yeah. Someday down the line. Right now we're using Tiled to build out all our maps, but eventually I would really like to incorporate a level editor, an enemy editor. Like instead of just making the scripts, we could also make an enemy editor that makes these like script files. It'll generate these script files, which can then get parsed by the game. But eventually, I would love for all of our map editing to also be done through like our own program. I would like this to be like its own Zelda engine kind of thing. So an open source Zelda maker with its own scripting language. Yeah, like doesn't that sound lit? It'll take a lot of work, but the scripting language is already going through. I don't know if it fits the Zelda aesthetic, but would there be conditional state changes? Okay, first of all, I'm going to stop you there because I want the scripting system to be as powerful as we want, and we're not limiting ourselves to whether Zelda did it or not. So, anything we can get to make making enemies more complicated or unique or just more interesting things, we're going to add. But if an enemy has X HP, switches this state, like having phases, that will absolutely be in. So yeah, we're gonna use the trigger system. The trigger system will check if we're in like the active state. We could have a trigger where health less than 3, and then state, then like aggro state. So if like a mini boss gets too much damage, then it'll go into another state where he has a different behavior. Like all of that kind of stuff should be possible with the state system. The big question is, am I going to be able to figure out the state system? Let's see. For action in states, current state on. Let's see what happens here. Okay, that's not what I wanted. So first thing I want to do is try to get it to run the actions within, because that's going to be the easy part. So right now, it's constantly trying to play anim play inanimate. We do need to separate the parameters inside. That's actually something I should do in the parser. Because right now the parser is just grabbing the functions. It's just calling them this. The way it's set up is the trigger here is like body within is the key, and then animate is the state that it'll move towards. Here, the actions don't have like key value, but they do have, well, basically we need to split this into an array with 2 parts, one of them being anim play, which is going to be the function that needs to be called, and the other one being inanimate, which is the parameter. We also got to do that for here. So yeah, let's try to do that. Let's see. So if we go to states, we need to grab whatever's within 2 parentheses. And separate them by comma and also strip any spaces that might be in there. So let's see how this is going to look. States, current states equals actions, nothing, triggers, nothing. So if it's a trigger, then all we're doing is appending this and that. But we need to turn this and this into, instead of just an array, we need to split up the array. So let's see. I should comment this code because I already forgot what some of this does. I wrote this yesterday. States current state dot actions append that. So in this case, all it is that. Okay. No, just kidding. Let's see what that does first. So, okay. How do we use substring again? One sec. Substring, do I even use it? Yeah. Find that and substring of find, wait. So this should give us all the parameters. Oh, it also includes those. But I think we could do this. Or not. Or maybe I got that opposite. Nope. What? What is it doing? Not understanding this. I do it here. One way to make your parser more scalable would be to implement some sort of AST. Okay, I'm not Googling what that is right now. Abstract syntax tree is a tree representation of the abstract. Hold on. Oh. Stuff like that. Yeah, that would make it more scalable. Maybe someday I will figure that out. See, that's not even changing anything. I know this is something simple and I'm getting caught up on, or something simple that I am getting caught up on, but I truly don't understand why this isn't changing. Why? 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 Hold on. Oh. Well, I think I could just do this. Whoa. Huh? Wait, am I dumb? Or what? Why is this? What are you printing? I don't know what's printing here. Oh, well, I know what that is. That's something we need to... Hold on. We're not dealing with that right now. It printed active because... I think because of this. Basically, it was separating everything that was triggers into one thing and everything else into another, but this is actually a third thing that I forgot about, so we just made a change for that. Let's... I don't know why I wasn't finding this parenthesis, though. You know? Like, and if I do this, will it... No, it doesn't... It's not listening to me. Oh! Oh! I'm dumb. I'm done. Sorry. I'm dumb. God. Now, IQ Gobo knows what I was supposed to do. And if he's watching this like he was watching my last night's stream, he's probably been facepalming for the last 10 minutes. But... yeah, it was... yeah, I figured it out. We have to... No, I didn't figure it out. Just kidding. What? Okay, someone explain this to me. Someone. Aren't you supposed to... like, we're starting with... no. Isn't it something minus something? How did I do it earlier? Or is it this minus that? See, I do wish he was here, though, because he understands this stuff. I'm bad with working with strings, which is all a parser does. The fuck? What am I supposed to do? Okay, we're gonna do it this way, then. Hey, Curtis. this work? Nope. It's like not even considering that a parenthesis. I'm just trying random numbers to see if it changes. Okay, I'm so confused. I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Someone come to my rescue, please. God, this sucks. Can I... Hold on. Why? If you push into a dev wrench, maybe I'd walk through it. I don't want to. Oh, no, I got it. I got it. I figured it out. I don't know why I had to split this into two things, but that works. Okay. Did I spell parenthesis? Parenthesis? Whatever. Okay. What is it called? Strip escapes or strip edges? This doesn't do spaces. Okay. Hold on. Where is it? Oh, here. Crash? Yes. Okay, so this gives us actions that don't work. That didn't do what I wanted it. Oh yeah, it's giving the whole thing. Yeah, my bad. Hold on. I already lost it again. Here it is. No. Oh, I'm not supposed to just do that. Also, what is this for? It's not showing it. Because what it's supposed to do is show actions, and inside would have anim play, and then another array that will have inanimate. So I thought that all I would have to do is do get the substring of it left from here, but it's not working. It's weird. See, it's giving me that now. Very weird. What would happen if I did right? Like, what's your issue? Then it's going all the way over there. This thing's acting weird with parentheses. Confused. See, that's like not giving us anything. Left is what I think it does, right? Oh, because I'm dumb. I'm dumb. Don't worry, guys. Don't worry. Don't worry, guys. Okay, that's what we wanted. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. That'll do it. Now we could run the functions. See, now it gives us an array with the function that we have and an array of its thingies. That's good. So now we need it to do things. I think this is all we need, honestly. This will call function with the first argument, and then it'll call the second argument, which is an array of any extra arguments. So if this had multiple arguments, it'll call the function with those arguments in that array. I think that's all we need. If we run this, it'll crash because we don't have AnimPlay defined, or it'll freak out at least. Yeah, AnimPlay method not found. But if we make that, well, I'm hoping that it's animating right now. See, now we got to do the triggers and stuff. It's hard to really tell if anything's working without the triggers. I guess we can make the walk animation do something. Hold on. Okay. Invalid get index walk. Oh, it's called active. Well, it automatically switched to that, but it is freaking out because AI wander is not defined. So we're also going to have to define all of our AI in the entity script. I'm just going to do something like this. Well, okay, why are you freaking out? Method expected 0 arguments but called with 1. What arguments? It's taking an empty argument and trying to do it. Is empty even a function? Yeah, it is. No. Is there something in this array? There's nothing. It's weird. they all have something in the array. But what? What do you see? It's an empty string. Why are you putting an empty string in there? Okay, there he goes. Cool. Okay, that's cool. And it's doing this every frame. So the state machine is already doing stuff. That's good. I like that. I like when it does stuff. So now any function you write in a state will occur every frame, and that's fine and dandy. But the part that's gonna make this all actually work and do something are the triggers. And how are you gonna do that, you might ask? Let me think. So if we're gonna make these all, signals, I guess anytime we change the state, we should disconnect all the signals from that state and connect all the new ones that are defined in that state. You know, that's how I see it. There's no reason that we have to make the triggers require a state as the second part. We could easily make these like the second part of this a function. In fact, Making it a state keyword and forcing that is probably unnecessary. We should probably just make it triggers, probably just make triggers run to a function and change state being one of those functions that they could run to. Though I kind of like the state keyword. I like just being able to type state something and then it changes to that. And this is my language, so I could do it however I want. So let me think how I want to do this. How y'all doing though? How are your nights going? Anyone still in chat? Been a little quiet. Why? I don't know, I'm curious, damn. Don't want to keep distracting you. It's a stream. If I didn't want to be distracted, I wouldn't do it. What are your thoughts so far? Is there anything that y'all saw like, why is he doing it like that? Like criticize me. What's up? Yeah, I have no idea what's going on, sir. Oh man, didn't ask. What do you want explained? Basically, all we're doing right now, I don't know, what got you lost? We have a scripting system. These states are the things that happen every frame. So it's just a state machine that you would use in any game. And depending on the state, it'll do things. Disconnecting and connecting a bunch of signals has a bad feeling to me, but I don't really have a reason. Yeah, I'm not sure if disconnecting and connecting is slow or not. But I gotta assume that that's better than processing for things every frame. Okay, so yeah, it is more expensive than just a function call, but the difference is the signals being called whenever they happen and a function call being called every frame. So I still think that connecting and disconnecting the signals on state change and only on state change is fine, but I'm not sure. But I imagine a signal, state change, state, and some function could do cleanup. Well, yeah, I think that's what I'm going for, unless I'm misunderstanding what you're saying, or either one of us is misunderstanding the other. But I think that is what I'm doing. I don't think the actual connecting parts are gonna be I don't know. We're gonna do it like this. I'm already aware of the fact that coding a scripting system in another scripting language is gonna add some unnecessary overhead. So let's just make it functionally do what we want, and then this can be an optimization later. in this, I don't know. The alternative is checking for collisions every single frame and blah blah blah, instead of just signals getting called once. I have no idea. Like, I no one come to me for like actual general CS information, any actual technical knowledge. All I know is how to make games. So whether I'm doing it correctly or not, who knows? But all I know is I'm reaching my end goals, and not too many people have complaints, but I have no idea if what I'm ever doing is correct. Not an authority on anything. Yeah, worst case is some optimization done by me or someone else later. Yeah. So I think on change state, we're gonna make a triggers array. Anytime we connect one of the triggers, we're gonna add it to this list, and then on state change, we're gonna parse through all the. I see the word parse way too much the last few days, but we're gonna look through all the triggers in this array, disconnect those signals, and then we're gonna look at all the triggers in the states array and go from there. Is that fast? Is that slow? Who knows? We're gonna move along. I actually do not care anymore. So see, we had to disconnect it from whatever connected it. So that means this actually requires some more information. I think it's literally just going to be that. That's just a reminder for myself. Hold on. It'll say the signal, the target. Really, we have to give the method too. I already forgot the arguments. Signal. Okay. Kind of like seeing you struggling. Not in a sadistic way, okay. More like that's what is the reality for most of us, experimenting and head scratching until the aha moment. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I think it's unrealistic to watch any programming stream and just see them speedrun through something they've never worked on before, and also not interesting. If someone wanted to see someone do something perfectly, they could just watch a tutorial. That being said, I know a lot of people also want me to make tutorials in general, but yeah, whatever. And I feel like I learn a good bunch by thinking of the solutions as you do. Yeah. I'm glad. That's cool. Honestly, I don't get the appeal of my streams. But people do like them, and I'm doing them every day now, and people are still showing up. So thanks, everyone. this here. Gotta do this here. What? What are you talking about? Well, it's getting them. Actions, triggers. So let's try triggers. Yeah, it gets timer too. Okay, we also gotta do the parameters for this guy. So, 1 sec. What am I doing here? S array. So confused. So this whole thing is an array for whatever reason. Don't remember why. Also, this should all be S array 1. These, if this doesn't make any sense to you, don't worry. It's not really making a whole lot of sense to me right now either. But if this works, and if you really care, then I will explain it. But otherwise, let's just see. Hopefully that worked. Why is it doing it like so many times? No, those aren't multiple triggers, bro. See, actions was able to figure out. Triggers is doing it a bunch. It's doing it 4 times. For me, it's probably living vicariously through seeing your project be completed. So many of my projects have had friends drop out or me lose interest. Hopefully one day I'll figure it out too. Dude, I feel you. This project was started a long time ago, but then we dropped it for almost a year. So I've seen it with this one, but eventually you'll find something that you just think is too cool to stop. And that's where I am with this right now. I just think, man, this is cool. And I already saw that if I don't make it, then no one will. So I gotta get the ball rolling. See, that's the thing. I don't think I'll ever be able to spend all my time on TetraForce But the least I could do is make it as easy for other people to finish it for me, which is why instead of making actual game stuff, I'm making the scripting system. So that Andrew could do all the enemies. Forward trigger and explain yourself. Why do you consider all of those as triggers? So are any of these correct? This one's correct. I don't know what else is going on there though. This is a mess. Okay, I wasn't expecting that to get longer when I did that. But you know what? I get it. I get it now. No, I don't get it. Just kidding. Oh, is it this? No. Oh yeah, why would it be? Get parameters, trigger. I'm confused. But as long as chat's silent, I can at least feel better about this not being super obvious. Though I know y'all don't have the upper ground here because I wrote all of this off stream and didn't explain a single thing. But give me 1 second. So for some reason, triggers well, first of all, why am I doing a dictionary again? I don't remember. I don't know why I'm doing that. Why is it doing that? Well, get parameters trigger, I can't pass the whole thing, so maybe, yeah, maybe it's that? No. Oh. What the hell? Alright, let's split this up. So, for trigger and a state array. I'm confused. See, that looks good to me. See how it splits it into the keywords, and the only ones that are relevant to us are this and this. Oh wait, hold on. What am I doing? Is that it? Okay, I guess that's what I was supposed to do. Yeah, that worked. Cool. AI Wander still asks for an empty thing, which is a little annoying, but it doesn't matter. That's why, like, we're converting this into just random data that could be read, but none of this is actually going to be looked at. This is the important stuff. Okay. And yeah, now it shows the triggers here. Timer with a parameter 2, body outside with 2 parameters of 96 in player. Why are you building a custom scripting system in Godot, may I ask, for learning purposes, or you actually need it? Do we actually need anything in game development? It's just for fun. It's just to make the game easier for everyone else to make, so I don't have to make enemies anymore. Because that way we could simplify a script like this, which has a lot of bullshit that we don't need to really worry about. Like, if every enemy needs to loopholes, why have to remember to type in loopholes for every single enemy? Just stuff like that. I just want it to be automatic. And so we don't have to do stuff like this. Excuse me. All of this will just be done in the back end, and then when you're making the enemy itself, it'll look more like this. Like, this is the equivalent. Operations are also just there for convenience sake. And I don't know, it's been pretty fun to work on so far. Interesting, I'm curious to see how this pans out. Sweet. Join the Discord. Second reminder, everyone, join the Discord. It's in the description. I post every single thing that I figure out for this game on the Discord. Okay, 4. Okay. Okay. Hold on. My noggin rest for 1 second. Can't remember what I'm doing. For trigger and triggers, disconnect all the triggers. Cool. And then, see, now we need to... Here's the other thing that we have to do. Because, and here's another benefit of the scripting system and how much easier it's going to make everything later. But this is something that we have to do, like, now in order to make it work, period. But once we only have to do this once, and it'll be cool, and it'll be awesome, and I'll love it, and blah, 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 whatever. But a lot of these... Whoa. I don't know if that was loud in the mic, but I said that in such a way that it, like... I said it towards something on my desk, and, like, the whole thing went like... You know? Anyway. One of the things that's going to make this really cool is because this is just a script, and we're writing the whole scripting system for this. Like, whatever code we allow to be written in the script, we know what that code's going to be used for, and we could account for that. What we're going to have to do is, for each of these triggers, these triggers have, like, things that they require, like, nodes that they require. So one of the things we're going to have to do is it'll have to read each state, like when it creates the node itself. Once it gives us this, it's going to have to read through the script, find anything like body outside or body within, and if it gets one of these, then it has to create the area 2D for that, and then set the radius to whatever the number is, you know? We need to like, we have to kind of, like, there has to be a trigger mapper. Yeah, that's a good term for it. But we need to pretty much not predict. Like, it's not really predicting what they want from it, but kinda. It's like we need the parser to see everything that's necessary for it to work and generate all the things. But that's the cool thing about the scripting system, right? Because then, if we want an enemy to detect if a player's nearby, not every enemy is going to do that. So we're not going to add an area 2D that could detect if a player's nearby to every single enemy. Instead, when we want to do it, like if we decide an enemy wants to do it, it'll be written in the script. And then the parser could say, oh yeah, that was written in the script. That's the thing that you're going to have. And the enemy will make the area for that. The question is how smart do I want to make it in terms of areas right now? Because something like body within and body outside are basically body entered or not. Yeah, this is basically body left or body exited, whatever it's called. Now, like, ideally, these would use the same area to save on resources. But if we had, like, multiple triggers in here, like, oh, if he's outside 96 units, he could do one thing, but if he's outside... Wait, no, that doesn't make sense. I don't see any reason why you would have two different area checks in the same state. There's no way for it to work like that, I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong, though. So yeah, probably if it has one of those, if it has even one of these inside, then what we're probably going to do is generate an area for, like, everything that might use that. and then change the size of the sphere or whatever as needed. That being said, I'm kind of tired. I worked today. I got home and I streamed, and I just caught up with how tired I was from work. So I think I'm gonna stop right now. At the very least, I might keep working on this and posting updates on the Discord. Maybe I'm still gonna be online, so everyone join the Discord. Just saying that one more time. Join the Discord and oh, sorry, I'm a crackhead. My bad. I'm sleepy. I might keep working on it, but I can't talk anymore. So yeah, I'm gonna stop now. Thanks everyone for watching. This has been daily stream like number 13, I think. I'm doing this for almost 2 weeks now. That's very cool. But yeah, I'm done. I'm gonna hit end stream now. See you everyone. Thanks for coming.